All right, guys, we are in part 2 for the review. So we're on number 14. You just finished with 625 cameras from Rich, so Whit's picking it up here. All right, this is one of the harder parts for us to remember. This first one we do just fine with distributing that 3. Here is where we tend to make a little mistake. You have to distribute that -7 to everything inside. So let's bring this down. You have 3p minus 3 equals 3 times 3p, that's 9p plus 30. Then you have -7 times -8, and so that is going to be a positive 56. And then -7 times a positive p, so that's a negative 7p. Okay, hopefully we just all gathered that. Again, that's -7 times -8 to get the positive 56. So here we have 9p minus 7p, which is 2p, plus add the 30 plus 56 to get the 86. Then bring everything else down, so 3p minus 3 is equal to this. Then this is just a two-step equation here. I guess it's a multi. So you subtract the 2p from both sides. 3p minus 2p is 1p, or just p. Bring down the -3, and that equals 86. Then you add the 3. Keep it going. P equals 89. All right. And again, guys, you can always plug this in and check that answer. All right, this is from 2.5. So I'm going to go through this rather quickly because you have this on that extra flip from last time. So we are just trying to solve for x. So we're trying to get x all alone. My first step is to subtract the q from both sides. Well, from where I originally started, it comes to a 0. Over here, q minus q, it's also a 0. And that's perfectly fine. You're going to bring down the -h. So you have -h equals mx. Well, again, we're trying to get that x alone. So you divide both sides by m. So you have x left over here. And you have -h over m. Just flip it around. X equals -h over m. Number 16. What is the height of a triangle that has an area of 32 yards squared and a base with a length of 8 should be yards? I don't know why, whatever. Mistake. So the formula is given. Yes, if it's given in the review. Yes, it will be in the test tomorrow. So plug in 32 for area because the whole area of that triangle is 32. The base is 8. So you plug in that 8 for the b. So times h divided by 2. Go ahead and divide that. So you have 32 equals 8 divided by 2 is 4 times h. So you can just mush those together. Then we divide both sides by 4. 32 divided by 4 is 8. So my answer is 8 yards. Do not forget that label. I'd hate for you guys to lose points just because we did not have that label. Okay, here it says car A travels 197 miles in 8 hours, car B is 336 miles in 5 hours, and car C is 553 miles in 12 hours. So if you look at the answer key that is uploaded already, you will see that we just found the unit rate for car A, car B, and car C. So to find that unit rate, you take 197 miles divided by the 8 hours. Then you take it 336 miles divided by 5 hours. And lastly is the 553 miles divided by 12 hours. So when you divide these, so this is car A, car B, and car C. So when you divide these, we have, let's look here, 24.625 miles per hour, 67.2 miles per hour, and lastly is 40.083, and just the 3 is repeating, miles per hour. So which one is the fastest? Well, 67 is the biggest number. So my answer would be car B. So again, you're just finding the unit rate for each one of those. Okay, so here on number 18, what is the given amount converted to the given units. So we start with what's given. S is representing seconds. So we have 180 seconds times, well, what are we trying to get seconds to? Is minutes. So I have to put seconds on bottom and minutes on top so that my seconds, if it's a numerator and denominator, they can cancel out. So there's 1 minute in 60 seconds. So I can cancel out the labels of seconds. I'm left with minutes, which is exactly what I wanted. Then I take 180 times 1, which is 180, divided by 60. You just do the math and you come up with 3. Don't forget the label. You can go back and see what you circled, and that was 3 minutes. Okay, this next one is a little more complicated of a conversion, but we're still doing the exact same thing. We're just combining 2 steps into this one. So I start with the given information, 60 miles per hour, okay? So we were trying to find it in feet per minute. So I'm going to go ahead and convert my miles to feet. So I'll do that in red. Now, if my miles are on top here, that means I need to put my label on the bottom. I'm taking miles into feet. If you don't know the conversion, it's going to be right here on the test, okay? So there is 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Then I also need to take my hours and plug it into minutes, change it into minutes. If I want to cancel out hours, hours are currently on the bottom, so that means I have to put it on top to cancel it out. So hours here, and I'm taking that to minutes. So there's 1 hour in 60 minutes. Then you go through and you get rid of the labels that you don't need. My miles cancel, just the labels. My hour labels cancel. I am left with feet on top and minutes on bottom. And that is exactly what I want. So 60 times 5,280 times 1 is 316,800. Divided by 1 times 60. So that'd be 60. When you do that division, yes, you end up with that same number of 5,280. And now you need a label, feet per minute. Rock on. Okay. Here are proportions. Love proportions. I think we've been doing really well with these. So here you just cross multiply. So 9 times x, 9x. Set that equal to negative 28 times 11 is negative 308. So here we just have to divide both sides by 9. And this is a repeating decimal answer. So your answer could either be negative 34.2 repeating or just negative 34.2. Doesn't matter which one you choose. All right, on number 21, we've talked about this lots already, but let's just review this. Here, remember that you are multiplying all of this together, okay? So you are taking 2 times x plus 3. Then you are also multiplying 7 times 7. So we have to distribute this 2 through. So we have 2x plus 6 equals 49. Now we can solve these pretty easily. Subtract 6 from both sides. 2x equals 43. And that's not a very pretty answer, but it's all right. We have 21.5. So x is 21.5. All right, bear with me, we're getting there. A van travels 210 miles on 10 gallons of gas. Find how many gallons, so we're looking for gallons, a van needs to travel 420 miles. So it looks like I'm looking for the gallons needed for 420 miles. So you start with this proportion. Remember that you have to have the same concepts on top and the same on bottom. So let's go ahead and put 210 miles on top. The only reason I chose to put that on top is because that's what I read first. Remember, you could easily have that on bottom. So that's over 10 gallons. Now, I am looking for gallons. So that's where I'm going to put my X. I'm looking for gallons, so you put your X where the gallons are labeled. Then I put 420 miles on top of that. Okay, after you've set it up comes the fun part. So you have 210 times X, so that's 210X equals 420 times 10, so that is 4,200. Then again, we just need to get that X alone. So divide by 210, and X is 20, and then you have to have the label, gallons. Okay. Here's another one. We're just going to set it up the same way. Hopefully we've read these. So we're looking for 2 chaperones for every 25 students. How many chaperones must there be for 62 students? So let's go ahead and put chaperones on top and students on bottom. So we start with the given key that I have, the given information. So I'm going to put 2 chaperones, long one, chaperones over 25 students. Now, it's asking how many chaperones. So where do you think we put the X? On top. So we're looking for chaperones. Then we have the 62 students on bottom. And we just cross multiply. 2 times 62 is 124. That equals 25 times X, which is 25X. Now guys, when you divide this, you're not going to get a solid number. So X is equal to 4.96. Well, I can't have 0.96 of a chaperone, so that means you have to round up to 5. So you would have 5 chaperones. Now the same would apply if you had even 4.2 chaperones, okay? You would have to round up so that we can get every kid with a chaperone, okay? All right, so here's this. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to rush through this a little bit. Remember to set this up. You start with X, then you go over the other side that you're looking for. Then to set up the other ratio, you go to the second triangle and you go to X's corresponding side. So you have 11 over 26. From here, you cross multiply and divide, and we have an answer of 7.2 centimeters. Don't forget that label. Okay, here, scale model. Again, we're just doing the same thing we've been doing. You have the scale that you start out with. So 1 centimeter over 3.5 kilometers. Set that equal to what we're looking for. Here it's telling me that I have centimeters. Since I've labeled this already, I know that my centimeters have to go on top. Then I put my unknown on the bottom. Okay, and it even says to the nearest 1/10 of a kilometer. So make sure you look for that keyword there. Okay, so I came out with an answer of 5.3 kilometers. So make sure you do that math and you get the same answer as I do. Here we seem to do really well with this. What percent, so I'm looking for a percent, of is with 20, and then is with 6. So don't forget how we set these up. Is over of equals percent over 100. My is 6 over my of, which is 20, equals what percent, so that's what I'm looking for, and then it's always over 100. We do the same thing here, cross multiply and divide. So when I solve that out, I have X is 30. Remember, 30 is not your answer. Your answer is 30%. Don't forget that percent sign. Okay, dress that's normally cost $77.50 is on sale for 45% off. Okay, again, this is going to be your of. So you have $77.50. Under that, 45% goes on top over the 100, and we're looking for X. Okay, once you cross multiply and find this, then you get 34.88. You take $77, 77 50 and subtract it from 3488. All right, guys, we are out of time. Remember to check the answer key, and that's where these other two will be, okay? And this will be